How y'all doing today? I hope you're having a great day. I hope your peak is getting where you need it to be. And I'm glad you're here with me. Because you know you always welcome in this Boozin Food Kitchen. I'm Shelia Edwards. And let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. We're going to take it on back to my childhood a little bit. When I'm going to take some salmon and crabs, put them together, and make up some salmon crab cakes. Little, cakes, or some of us call them croquettes, but they all work out to be the same. And then we're going to make us a little spicy remoulade to put on top of those cakes, y'all. And you know, we're going to keep it boozing. So hang with me and let's see what kind of booze it's going to be. I'll meet you over on the counter when we're getting our meat mixture together. Then we'll head on over to the stove where we're going to fry them up and we'll be eating in no time. Meet you on the counter. In this bowl, we're getting ready for our salmon and crab cakes. So I've already drained what you see in here. So this right here is my crab meat. And this right here is my canned salmon. So my crab meat, I buy it in this little can also here. So this right here is what, 6 ounces of crab meat, and I'm using 2 of these. Now, when you get your crab meat out and you put it in the colander, make sure you press it down just a little bit so you can get all the excess water out of there. And if you buy it in the can rather than the flaked meat already in the deli, and either one will do for this particular recipe, but if you buy it in the can like I did, you're gonna see like a little colander like in there, and I guess that's to kind of hold the meat together, or something or other like that. I'm not really sure, so don't quote me on that piece right there. But make sure you remove this paper colander out of that meat before you add it to your bowl here. But I drained this, and now I tell you this, it is flaked, probably down to as much as it can be flaked. But it's flaked, so it's a very gentle piece to work with. Yeah, I use the word gentle. So make sure you drain it, press the little water out gently, and add it to your bowl. And again, there's 2 cans of this right here. So that's what you're seeing here. And over here, this is my can of salmon. Okay, this right here is a 14.75 ounce can of pink salmon here that I'm using. And I would tell you that I did not remove the little bones because they're so soft in there. And I just, of course, say there's just a little extra calcium for me. So what I'm gonna do now is flake these together. Just kind of gently flake them. Make sure you get all your little pieces apart like that with your little spoon, and there we go. So we're gonna basically put our solids in this bowl, and then our liquid part of this will be in another bowl, and then we'll put them together like you do kind of when you're making a cake. But right now I just want to make sure I got them flaked. So to this, I'm gonna add the other solid ingredients, which is some onions. I have this amounts to really 3/4 cups of onions. I have a 1/2 cup of white onions over here, and then I added some green onions over here because I like the color that they add to the salmon. So I'm just going to get that in there real good. And if you don't have any green onions, don't even worry about it. Just go all together and just use 3/4 cups of just white onion, okay? And so now I'm gonna push this to the side because this is pretty much all we want to do to this right now at this point. So I'm gonna bring my flour up because it's part of the solid ingredient too, but we're not gonna add it to the salmon just yet. So here in this cup right here, I have 3/4 cups of just some all-purpose flour here, just 3/4 cups of that. To that, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of just baking powder. Okay, so I'm gonna get 2 of them in there, and I'm adding it to the flour that's separate in another bowl. Okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of move that around together. All right, and now I'm gonna sit this to the side and get my wet ingredients together. in this bowl, I'm beating together 2 eggs, okay? Now, I have here a lime that goes into this. So what I'm going to do before I squeeze my lime into the egg is I'm going to zest. Got my little zester here, and I'm going to pull this to the front so you can kind of make sure you see what I'm doing. I'm just going to zest a little bit of this lime into this my fish mixture here. Let's get a little bit of it in there because the rest of this lime will be juiced. All right, we did good there. You see, you can see a little bit of that zest on there. This camera focus for me. So I'm just gonna get this little zest right here in here. Okay, now I can push this back over, and you know that zest, what it does is kind of intensifies the taste of something when you zest it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my lime and I'm gonna just cut it in half here. And then, like we said, we're making wet ingredients. So I'm gonna, oh, what am I doing here? I'm gonna juice this lime into my egg. And see, when these limes, you never know what you're gonna get. And this one happens to be a juicy one. Thank goodness for that one. So you get both of those just in there. And what I want to say to you about your salmon, when you are draining your salmon in the colander at the beginning stage, reserve some of the brine that's from the salmon. So just in case when you get towards the end of the recipe with the flour and whatnot, and it's looking a little dry, you can put just a little bit of the salmon juice in there. But I think today, since my lime are juicy, that they'll do just fine. But always reserve the brine from the salmon until you get to the end of your recipe. Okay, so I'm gonna get this kind of twirled around here a little bit. All right, so now what I want to add is some tequila. Yes, you already know it's gonna be Boozin. Okay, so here's my tequila, and this is an ounce of tequila, which adds up to about what, 2 tablespoons, okay? So I'm gonna get my tequila in with the wet stuff, move it around. Okay, now I need to make sure I'm getting everything here, all right? So now I need to take, and this is tequila I'm using just by the way, so. All right, now I'm gonna take a little bit of this Worcestershire sauce. Can you see that? Why is this camera not wanting to focus with me today? But okay, all right, but anyway, this is Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna put just a couple of dashes in here, just a little bit, okay? Probably a 4, I would say maybe the Worcestershire sauce, maybe it's a teaspoon or a half a teaspoon, whichever you prefer, you know your taste. And now I got a little bit of this hot sauce here. Oh, there's the focus way back here. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this hot sauce in here. So it may come to, I'm gonna put about a half a teaspoon of hot sauce in there. Okay, so this is my wet. All right. Now, I'm gonna pull this salmon back here to take center stage. It's crab and salmon here. And I'm gonna pour my wet into here. All right. And I'm gonna toss this just a little, but stir around. And then the last thing I want to do is sprinkle in my flour and baking soda. My flour and baking soda, baking powder mixture, y'all. This is baking powder, not baking soda. So I'm gonna sprinkle that over. Okay, so y'all see how that's looking right now? I'm gonna bring it all together. And this is basically what my cakes are looking like before we get ready to fry them up. Almost looks like a good tuna salad. Yeah, remember that 4-fish salad I made there? So here, it's gonna kind of look like this. Okay, see consistency of it. Ready to be patted together. So we're gonna let this sit for a while. And let me tell you something about sitting your food. When you put your dish together, y'all, let those dishes sit for a minute. Don't be rushed to put them in the oil or rush to put it in the oven. Sometimes these things have to sit together and all the ingredients have to come together and be friends, or they might get in that skillet or in that oven and clown you because you did not give them time to become friends. So I'm gonna let these cakes sit over here, become friends. Then I'm gonna get them ready for that pan, and I'm gonna score them up right now. When I score, see about how many I'm gonna get out of here. So I know, let me see there, and we're gonna go here, and here, here, and here. So I should get 10 to 12 cakes out of this, but we'll see when we start putting them in that oil, you know, how my hands might get happy and make them a little too big, or my hands might say, no, we don't need to eat that much. We're gonna be a little frugal, and I might make them a little smaller. But here they are right here, and again, I used canned salmon and I used canned crab, but feel free to use them fresh out of the deli if you want to. You know, that's your business, but at the end, we're gonna come out and look like this, okay? So now this sits and it rests. Okay, so while our salmon and crab mixture is resting before we put the final touch on that, before we fry it up, we're gonna make a little remoulade sauce so that it can go over that once it's hot out of the skillet. So in this bowl, what I have is about a little more than half a cup, perhaps, of mayonnaise. Here we go, just using a hearty mayonnaise. Don't try the Miracle Whip, because that's more of a salad dressing, not a mayo. So this is a half cup right here. So to this, I'm going to add about a teaspoon or so of this right here, and this is Creole mustard. Okay, so I'm going to get that squirted into my spoon here. All right. Yeah, that'll be about a good teaspoon right there. Teaspoon, it would half to a whole teaspoon. Okay, so we're gonna get that in there mixed up a little bit. And I'm gonna add some capers. This is just kind of my little twist on this. This is just a little thing of capers here. And I'm gonna put a few of those in there, which probably, I'm gonna say about a half teaspoon or so of capers. And then I'm gonna sprinkle me some paprika in there, and this is about, I guess, about a 1/4 teaspoon or so. Get in there, pretty good. And I want to now add some Cajun seasoning, which is about a teaspoon. Not a half teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. I don't want too much of that in there because it has salt in it. Okay, so now some people add horseradish to theirs, but there are a lot of different recipes out there for this remoulade sauce, but I don't put horseradish in mine because it kind of shoots up through my nose, and I don't like that feeling, or that burning feeling in my nose. So I don't add the horseradish, but feel free to add you about a teaspoon of horseradish if you like horseradish. I like that. So now I need some pickle juice, and I'm just using a little juice out of my little sweet relish, or if you have some sweet pickles in the refrigerator, by all means use that. So I'm using a teaspoon of that juice. Alright, I'm going to dash a little bit of hot sauce in mine. a couple of dashes. Some people say a teaspoon. I don't want a whole teaspoon. So about let me see, a half teaspoon. Yeah, because I'm not used to measuring for this sauce, but it comes out right. So we're gonna say a teaspoon of hot sauce. And now I want to put about a half teaspoon of garlic here. So, y'all with me? Just some garlic. You know, I use this little garlic out the jar because I take any shortcuts that I can get. So I'm going to kind of stir this together just a little bit. Now I'm going to keep this remoulade. He said remoulade, because it's with an E. Okay, so I'm going to put, you know we're going to keep it boozy here. I'm going to put, this is going to come to a teaspoon, about a teaspoon. Oh, let me show you what I'm using here. I'm using a little bit of this American honey. It got a little sweetness to it, which plays well with that pickle juice that we use. So this is about a teaspoon or so. A teaspoon, a little better, not too much. So here we go. It's a teaspoon of this, okay? Got to keep it boozy. Y'all know we got to keep it boozy. Okay, then I'm just gonna put just a little bit of garlic pepper in mine. Just a little bit here. A little bit, because it has salt in it too. And I kind of stay away from the salt. So we got it all put together here. Let me taste it. It's so good. So anytime that I'm cooking crab cakes or salmon cakes or putting the two cakes together, I'm gonna have my little remoulade. So that's the way the little remoulade looks right now, like that. I'm gonna sit this in the refrigerator so it'll be ready for our cakes when they come out. We're just about getting ready to start frying up our crab and salmon cakes here. The last thing that I want to do to them before I put them in the oil to fry is I'm adding my Old Bay, and I'm gonna put about this is about a good teaspoon of Old Bay here. And I like to save the Old Bay and my ground mustard or dry mustard to the end, because I don't want those flavors to be get too salty in this delicate mixture here. So I put that in there, then I'm stirring this together, and then next we'll be frying them up, making them into the little patties. Okay, it looks like our oil is just about ready. So here's my cooking spoon, and I fill it about halfway with mixture, and I get that into my hand, and I kind of shape them into little patties like so, see? And then I kind of slide that right there into that oil, okay? I'm gonna do a couple of more in there, halfway on your cooking spoon, into your hand, a little bit of a shake, okay? And then down right into the oil. And I'm going to continue to do this until I get all of them kind of fried up there. And I'll let you see when we're ready to turn about the brownness that we're looking for when they come out of here. As you can see, they've started to brown, and I'm getting them flipped over. I just kind of put it on there, and I just kind of use my hand to get them on flipped over there. All right, so we're gonna continue to go around our skillet and oops, flipping them over. There you go. Get them over the best way you can. Okay, so there we go. Flip it over, and that's where I get mine, turned over. And you might say, "Oh, that grease is hot." If you flip them fast enough, you'll be just fine. Okay, so it looks like the cakes are about ready, and I have my plate ready here. I usually put paper towels on it so it can drain anything that I'm putting in oil. I want it to always drain a little bit. So here, we're just gonna get them out of here, and look, it's pretty brown, and it's brown on the other side too. So you can kind of lift them up to see their level of brownness, before you take them out. So look on both sides, look at that. And so now she's ready. And we're gonna continue, get them out, fry the rest of them up, and then we'll be ready to eat in no time, really. Yes. Tequila, lime, salmon, crab cakes. Enjoy. All right, y'all. We got it done. Honey, this right here, this salmon crab cake is the business. I'm telling you, 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, you fish. This is it, y'all. And you know that the tequila is working its way down up in there. Now, doing this recipe, I did ask you all to reserve the brine because you never know what it might be at the end. But see, in this particular one, I forgot when I mixed the crab meat with my salmon, that makes it a little bit more juicy, so we don't need the brine. So if you're going out and getting your stuff together, just remember when you drain the salmon, you can let the brine go when you're mixing it with the crab meat. But honey, I'm gonna get on out y'all hair. I wanna thank you all for joining me on Wednesdays and Saturdays. You know that's when I post. And you know, I'm always gonna keep it boozing. And I'm always grateful for you all following me. And you know what? When you like these recipes, do not hesitate to hit that little button down there. When you touch subscribe, it turns into subscribed. You see that ED on the end. So I'm gonna go on and enjoy my salmon crab cake here. And with this good old spicy Remoulade sauce on the top. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all go on and have a good rest of the day and get this recipe on the table at some point. All right, y'all? Ooh, wait. Amen, amen, and amen.